Hello guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Racing Line YouTube channel once again for another round of the RLTC Championship, another Monday night entertaining evening for you all who regularly join us, and welcome to all the new watchers who might have been sent a link wherever you are, whether you're watching with us on the Racing Line YouTube or Twitch, or of course over with our partners at VCO eSports YouTube and Twitch, who have been along with us for this journey, and of course back in the Jetta Cup Season 2. And we can't forget, of course, give a quick shout out to Kakala in the Twitch chat, who is VCO's resident photographer, who's been with us all the way through the season and posts amazing photos, by the way, on our website, which you can see below at theracingline.org. Shout out that man, because his photos are outstanding and brings another level of realism to this fun event that we put on every week. We are here for round 9, the races of California, race 25, 26 and 27. 27 races will have been completed by the end of tonight by these drivers in this championship. We'll go through a points rundown of the 24 races they've done so far, but let's get started with this week's RLTC Championship, powered by GT Omega. Of course, shout out to them, and you can get 5% discount on any of their products using our little cheeky code that you can see on your screen there, TRL. Nice and simple, 3 letters, 5% off any product you want on their website. Go for it. WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, that is where we're at here in the USA, the final race for our American leg. And as usual, we join the stream. The stream goes live at the closing stages of practice. So there's about 7 minutes left of practice to give us a little bit of time to run down what's happened in the season so far. And you can see their practice times on the left there with 3 Hondas. The top 3 times are all Hondas. Is this circuit suited to that car? Have we got another Honda circuit on the way? We're about to find out, obviously, throughout this evening, with 3 races coming your way. We had a 40-minute practice, a 10-minute qualifying, followed by 3 roughly 15-minute races. Of course, and then we're on our way. The first race is all done in quali order. The second race, the top 6 are reversed, and the third race, the top 12 are reversed. That is that. So 7 minutes left, 6 minutes left. What's going on in chat? There's loads of comments already. This is good to see. Thank you for joining, whether you're watching YouTube or Twitch, whoever's channel you're watching on. We got Bob in chat, a long-time fan. Oh my god, finally, we're starting to think I'd go without my TRL fix. We are here. Mr. Murray in the Goldwing car is apologizing if he disappears throughout the evening. They have blackouts in South Africa today. Downing is who Bob is rooting for. He's saying that Downing is gonna be carrying that momentum into the final leg of the season. It says Kakala is his hero, best photographer out there. Mr. Bambini says, "Is this real?" Got to get good pics of Fox to compensate for my team punting him on the Nürburgring 24. Oh dear, oh dear. Some issues in the Nürburgring 24, I'm sure. It was a long race, isn't it? 24 hours. And then Bob says, "Nah, Fox punted me at Lime Rock. No picks for him." There you go. Nice little close community that's growing here. Let's go through those points nice and quickly. I wanted to check something, and my mind has gone completely blank at what I wanted to check, which is slightly annoying, but we'll move on. So the points then. Points. Let's start off with the team's championship, and this is what it looks like. Pulsars at eSports extend their lead to 200 points from Fear Factor, who stay ahead of the on-form All Sports Racing, who currently remain in third, just over 100 points behind with 1,734 points. Goldwing hold on to P4, with Lurch's Academy seemingly closing them down in P5 with 1,100 points, 272 points back behind Goldwing there. Meatball Motorsport close up in P6 with they're 44 points behind Lurch's Academy, so they are closing that gap. ORD hold station with P7 and Win It or Bin It in P8, whilst Masters of Traction pass Lurch's Gaming for P9 with a 20-point gap. So those two will be continuing their fight for P9 all the way for sure, with Taki returning tonight. Will Lurch's Gaming return to 9th? Although last I checked, Yeezus Amundere is the only driver not on that timing screen, so maybe that's not going to go their way, and Masters Attraction can extend that gap. Who knows? Let's have a look at the drivers' stand-ins then. Currently, your drivers' stand-ins look like this. It's Connor Mills who leads the way with 799 points, but Morgan Burkhardt is closing that gap to just 27 points so far there in P2, with well, with 3 rounds after this, we've got a total of 12, including tonight, 12 races to go and a 27-point gap after 24 races. It's crazy close between those 2 Audi drivers. Stephen King and Mats Borg Anderson move up to 3rd and 4th place, whilst retiree Damien Harris continues to fall. He's currently in 5th. John Bailiff is 6th, ahead of Marcel Frisch, just 10 points behind, and a further 10 points back in 8th is Kieran Dempsey. The Goldwing pair of Van Alst and Downing in P9 and 10, and the All-Sports pair of Cranston and Huffman in 11th and 12th, whilst Eric Mannenveld moves up to 13th, and Andre Marek falls from 11th to 14th place last time out. Ika Lequay, P15. And then, where are we? Andy Fox there and Joseph Gibson in P16 and 17. Only 2 points separating those 2 drivers, whilst Duncan Murray and Carl Ridley are in P18 and 19. If I just scroll over that page to show you the rest of the order, you can see Carl Ridley there, just behind Duncan Murray. 2 Lurchus Gaming cars together in 20th and 21st place. That's Caraday and Taki, both of those drivers here today. Jeremy Agard, 6 points behind Taki and 7 ahead of Fry, so fairly close in this area. 10 points behind Fry is Corpus, and 10 points behind Corpus is Burns, so a nice little train of 10 multiples of 10 there. We then have Donny Henriksen, Dan Blake, Sebastian Broberg, Dan Thornton, Jesus Amundere rounding off your top 30. And of course, with 2 retirements that we've seen this season, we see our 2 newcomers there in 31st and 32nd place. Christian Ribeiro starting last today in race 1 due to not serving his briefing instruction last time out at Watkins. So he will not be taking part in quali. He should not be taking part in quali. And then we'll see him start from the back in race 1. And how high can he get? What's going off? Sam Van Alst is saying that Morgan will catch Connor because he's a real wheel man. This track looks like Bart Simpson, says Kitty Cat. And then Jermo says, give me something to root for this race. Root for King, says Kakula, or Agard. So there's a few people discussing who they're going to support this round. I mean, support who you need to, guys. Come on, who deserves your support? I'll tell you who I'm gonna root for, secretly and quietly. I know I'm not biased, but this is gonna put a commentator's curse on him. I know it. I can see it happening. I'm going for the underdog Kieran Dempsey today, even though he's in an Audi. And the Audis look like they're going to be struggling. Do not discount Dan Downing, who's up there in P4 currently in practice in a Hyundai. And John Bailiff in the Honda, currently P5. One of those, I don't know, one of those 3. So, currently on your screens is the Audi RS3 manufacturer standards. You've got Mills, Burkhardt, Harris, Dempsey, Van Alst, DeQuay, Fox, Gibson, Taki, Burns, and Weiss Vanger. We then have in the Elantras, the Hyundai Championship looks like this. King, Frisch, Downing, Huffman, Mannenveld, Fry, Henriksen, Blake, Thornton, and Amundere. And then, of course, in the Hondas, we have Anderson, Bailiff, Cranston, Mayerek, Murray, Ridley, Caraday, Agard, Corpus, Broberg, our retiree, and Ribeiro, his replacement there. And that is pretty much a full catch-up of where we are at. And Morgan Burkhardt is out on track. After having a small issue, I think, with his steering wheel yesterday. I think he's got a little message on his bumper there, actually. I just saw. Let's see if we can see it before he goes around turn 1. We love you, Connie boy, I think that says. So a little message to his rival so far, Connor Mills. Obviously, being able to see that, he will be behind Morgan Burkhardt to be able to read that message. A little bit of mind games playing as we tick over into qualifying. So their 10-minute qualifying is going to begin, and normally people just start flying out of this pit lane. Here they all come. They're all arriving on scene now. And some of them will race out. Some of them won't. Some of them will wait. You can see Donny Henriksen pulling over there. Let's have a look at the track map. That will show where everyone is. And Marcel Frisch, I think, is all out there on the track by himself, getting the maximum gap he can. That's a good camera shot. So he's all by himself, is Marcel Frisch. Not playing any slipstream games today. Predictions on the amount of people off at the corkscrew in race 1, says Greg in chat, on YouTube chat. I'm really hoping none. Just You just can't guarantee this sort of stuff, though, can we? We just can't guarantee it. Just one person, just takes one person in 28th place to outbreak themselves to absolutely kill everybody in front of them, the next 10 cars. I think we've gone on board with Marcel Friesch quite a few times in quali. I'll tell you who we haven't, who I don't think we have. Eric Mannetveld is the next car in line. The Hyundai's leading the way currently. We'll wait until they complete their outlap. But I think we'll go on board with Eric Mannetveld for his first lap as we take a nice scenic panned shot of the crowd, rocks, dirt, trees, bushes. There he is as we come out from behind that hill and he enters the final turn. So Eric Mannetveld on board with that man. Sounding quite quiet today, actually. You know what? I'll say it. Race 1 is clean. 0 safety cars today, says Bob. Oh, that is a big, big ask. But look at this. Flying down towards turn 1. Heavy braking zone turn 1. Nice little hairpin. They get it turned in. Nicely done. Smooth on the power. Doesn't run wide on the exit. The dirt is very lethal around here. Little bit of sort of tentative steering there as he took 2 bites of the cherry to turn it into that right-hander. The fast right-hander up next. Nicely done. No 1x yet for Eric Mannetveld. It's going to be interesting to see. So this next corner, hard on the brakes, get it turned in, cambered in nicely here. You want to hit that apex and then accelerate as early as you can to get up that hill. Again, being careful of the dirt on the right-hand side as he climbs up the hill towards the blind left-hand kink. You need to carry as much speed as you can through there without hitting that sausage curve. And it is easy to run wide there, as we've seen Mr. Mannetveld do. I'm going to say that is a 1x, so this time is probably going to be invalidated. But here's the most famous corner, the corkscrew. You get it turned into this, dips right down the hill. We're going to see many people go off there. There's a lethal slowdown on the right-hand side there if you cut that corner, which they've all been instructed in the briefing to serve on the main straight. So they can't serve it through any of these corners or into the final corner, because they end up having to pretty much stop to serve it here. Into the final apex he goes. This is the last 90-degree left-hander, and he's back on the main straight. And Marcel Friesch, obviously, straight to the top of the times. First one to set a time with a 1:31.1. We expect Mannetveld not to be on the timing board because we think he 1x'd it on the exit of the kink. He did. And Stephen King goes fastest. Connor Mills goes fastest with a 1:30.8. Sam Van Olst to the top of the timing sheets. Carraday right behind him, 2/10. Good stuff from Carraday there. We're going to see that order change round. I am just going to have a look at something before I continue. Because that did sound... Well, actually, I'm not going to have a look at something. You tell me. That, to me, that engine sounded quite quiet. As we see Andre Mayerek go to the top of the times. Is it just me that has the volume down, or was are the sounds... Does it sound pretty good from your end, audience? Because all I can hear is tires and the curbs, to be honest. Jake Cranston up there in P3. Andre Mayerek. This could be a career best qualifying for that man. As we see Morgan Burkhardt to the top of the times, just a couple hundredths quicker than Mr. Mayerek. 29.9s. We're going to see those times come down, I think. Can't see anyone set in purple sectors yet. Max Borg Anderson looks to be the next one to watch. He hasn't set a time yet. See him coming through in that Fear Factor Honda, flying through. Mannetveld does go on the timing boards. He goes up into 6th as King moves up into 3rd. Corpus in 7th. Sam Van Olst moves up into 7th, knocks him back down to 8th. That Honda looks to be going fast. I think he set a purple sector 2, so this should, as long as he didn't 1x, as we see Dan Downing, who Bob was rooting for, goes to the top of the timesheets with a 29.8. What can Anderson do? He comes around the final corner. He's only set 1 purple sector so far. It was sector 2. He hasn't gone faster anywhere else. 2 thousandths behind Downing is Andre Mayerek, and Mats Borg Anderson slots up into P9 on his first attempt. But 2 thousandths between those top 2. Andre Mayerek doing extremely well for ORD here. think I am. Just for my own peace of mind before the race starts. Just going to check on one thing. There we go, and it's as quick as that. We are back. Dan Downing then, still at the top of the timing sheets. 7 minutes in, there's 3 minutes left to qualify, and we can see Ondrej Majorek there. He's right behind Andy Fox, that is up ahead. So he's getting a nice slipstream from Andy in the Win It or Bin It Audi. Luke Stepney's joined in chat on Twitch. He says, Stephen Fry for the win. We haven't seen Stephen up there that often. And Ondrej Majorek, 0.5, 3 tenths quicker than Mr. Downing. What a time. And then Mats Borg Andersen straight up with the 0.2, another 3 tenths. Jesus, that is a hell of a time for Mats Borg Andersen. We said he was one to watch, and there he is. Did he have any toe? It doesn't look like he's got anyone in front of him as Jake Cranston slots into third with a 0.7. John Bailiff setting yellow sectors everywhere, so he's not improving at the moment. He's in P7. But how is that? A Honda 1, 2, 3, and it's Mats Borg Andersen, Ondrej Majorek, and Jake Cranston. This we mentioned it at the start, Germo. We think that this track is going to be suited to the Hondas. And the Audis seem to be struggling, apart from the obvious two in 5th and 6th. But Mats Borg Andersen, straight up to the top of the times. And this is what your gaps look like. 2.5 tenths, half a second back. Connor Mills slots up into P3 there. Just slightly ahead of Cranston. And there he is. Behind Morgan Burkhardt. So the All Sports Racing cars working together. And the good news, Christian Ribeiro has not gone out in qualifying, so he will be starting race 1 from the back, as he should. But 1.5 minutes left of qualifying. Some people have pitted. I think their qualifyings are over. They're settling for what they've got. And Morgan Burkhardt slots up into P3. Jake Cranston goes up there with him in P4. So they both pass Connor Mills. That is exactly what they would have needed. 2 All Sports Racing cars ahead of Connor Mills. And Morgan Burkhardt, championship rival to Connor Mills, has got a car in between him and Connor. And it is his teammate, Jake Cranston. Couldn't wish for anything better. I am going to check something. Ondrej Majorek up there in P2. What is his best qualifying position before this race? It's 5th. So Ondrej Majorek has never qualified higher than 5th place, and he's about to get, with 30 seconds left on the clock, is he going to get a P2? Mats Borg Andersen has had a pole position before, and I'll tell you what, Hondas have got 5 out of 8 poles so far, and it's looking like they're going to get a 6th one. How mad is that? 1 lap pace of the Honda has just been incredible in qualifying. It's shocked us all. Christian Ribeiro on Twitch says, just watching the rivals, just learning. Jake Cranston, I think the only one out on track, actually, with Dan Blake with 2 seconds to go. There's Dan Blake for Win It or Bin It. And it ticks over into race 1. And let's have a look at your grid for today. Mats Borg Andersen, pole position, half a second faster than Ondrej Majorek there in P2. Morgan Burkhardt and Jake Cranston make it an All Sports Racing second row. Mills, Downing, Bailiff, Ridley, King and Frisch round off your top 10. You then had Manintveld and Fox, Dempsey, Corpus, Gibson, Murray, Taki, Vanalst, Agard and Huffman rounding off your top 20. Poor showing from Huffman there in the All Sports Racing car. Carraday, Thornton, LeQuay and Henriksen down to 24th. Burns, Weiswanger, Fry, Christian Ribeiro and Dan Blake there at the back of the grid, with the only driver missing today is Jesus Amundere once again, who I think he's just having a nap, I reckon. That's happened before, but it's good to see Taki back, the Malaysian driver, very early for that man. And we love the amount of flags that we see on this grid. It's humbling in a way. Look at all those flags on your timing screens on the left. So often do we see so many British flags. But the fact that it's pretty much a 50-50 split is it's a nice feeling as we see them all start to grid up. Sorry if you heard that. I was just taking a quick drink before we start. We've got about 30 seconds. We're just waiting for Burns and Weisswanger to get to the grid. Look at all those touring cars. This is a great shot, actually, from the race marshal's post. Christopher Smith's joined in chat to support ORD. Andre Majorek for ORD in second place. But we know what the Audis are like on the start. Keep an eye out for Morgan Burkhardt. He's there in P3. He's got Connor Mills right behind him. The lights are out and away they go. Morgan Burkhardt did get a good start. Connor Mills goes to the right of Jake Cranston, so he's going to get that move done straight away as they head down towards turn 1. Here they go. Mats Borg Anderson is holding on. He's holding the inside line. He's getting pushed down by Morgan Burkhardt into turn 1, and Andre Majorek is being forced out wide as Jake Cranston sends it down the inside of Connor Mills to get that position back. They all come flying through turn 1. I need to watch how I say that. I've been called out for saying flying through too much, so you can call me out on that for the rest of the day. And they all seem to have survived turn 1, amazingly so. But here is your leader as Morgan Burkhardt drifts it round turn 2. That's not the fastest way around that corner, and it's going to ruin his run. Jake Cranston now is defending from Connor Mills. He's got Andre Majorek trying to fight. They're going to go 2 wide, 3 wide into the next corner, but Morgan Burkhardt holding them off nicely. Up the hill they go towards the kink. Connor Mills now ahead of Andre Majorek, who's got John Bailiff pressuring him, and Kyle Ridley up there in P7 in the Honda as well for Win It or Bin It, with Dan Downing in P8 and Stephen King behind him. Up 1 place, a load of those guys. Andre Majorek down 3 places. Dan Downing down 2. Into the corkscrew they go. This is the first time into the corkscrew for this race. Is everyone gonna survive? It looks like John Bailiff's made a move on Andre, and there's contact. Andre's round, and there's a big crash. Dan Downing's coming down the order. Who's gonna survive? What's gonna happen there? Is the track blocked? It doesn't look like it. I think there was only a couple of cars involved in that. Kieran Dempsey looks like he's going slower, so I wonder if he had any issues there. And Andre Majorek goes to the pits after a career best qualifying. Dan Blake has also had a crash. And look at that, Joe Gibson on the inside of Kieran Dempsey into the final corner, pushing Marcel Friesch along. Down the back straight they go. On to the main straight. Joe Gibson, Marcel Friesch. Is Marcel going to send it to the inside? He's on the inside of Joe Gibson here. Down in towards turn 1 they go. And the outside line is very weak here. Can Marcel get it done? He's on the power. He gives him room on the exit. That is what we like to see. Marcel, one of the cleanest drivers on the grid. Still side by side with Joe Gibson. Into turn 2 they go. And he's going to hold it. Now they're going to go into the fast right. This is going to be a risky move for Marcel if he can get it done. This is what it looks like from Kieran Dempsey's car. So Marcel has cleared him, and Kieran is on the inside of Joe Gibson as well. Mod Taki getting a brilliant view of this from behind. Kieran Dempsey on the inside of Joe Gibson. They nearly touch. Forced out a little bit wide is Joe Gibson for the ORD car with survival on his mind. The only car out so far is Andre Majorek, who is in the pits. Joe Gibson backs out of that into the kink. They've been warned against that. Not that they're not allowed to race into that as we go into the corkscrew. I think people are racing. Andy Fox down the inside of the corkscrew. Very nice view. And look at the switchback that Eric Mannenveld gets. And now he's going to have to try and hold it around the outside of this sweeper. That's going to be a risky move. Can he get it done? He's going to. He's on the inside for the next right. Dan Downing's thinking I can take advantage of this. Andy Fox behind Eric Mannenveld, and now look, he's got Sam Van Olst and Dan Downing, the 2 Goldwing teammates. 8 laps to go out of this 10-lap race, and Mannenveld under pressure from Andy Fox as they head down this main straight. He's got Downing and Van Olst right behind him. And this is what it looks like from the rear wing of Eric Mannenveld as they head down towards turn 1. The slipstream, Andy Fox is in. Is he going to send it into turn 1? No, not quite. He's going to get really close to the back of Mr. Mannenveld, though. The Dutch driver, number 99 for Lurch's Academy in P8 currently. Your top order, though, has had a right mix-up, but there's been so much fighting back here. I don't know how Mats Borg Anderson has lost that, but we definitely will find out with some replays for sure. Let's have a scroll through some of these. What has happened since the start? Connor Mills there in P4. Christian Ribeiro and Jan Weisswanger, I said the 2 reserve drivers then, but they are full-time drivers now. The 2 newbies going at it in 24th and 25th. Bit of contact with Caraday and Huffman there. Let's have a look at some of these replays. So this is down into turn 1. Anderson done really well to defend all of this. of cars swooping through there. Connor Mills on the inside of Cranston. Bailiff around the outside and Majorek. Into the sweeping right they go. Jake brave to turn in there, but gets the run. The outside line strong there. But what happened to Andre Majorek? We might as well just stay with this, because it happened at the corkscrew. What happens to Andre Majorek as they climb up this hill? Into the turn he goes. Did he break on the dirt? He looks to have survived there. Is it a send from Bailiff? Has he just outbroke himself? Oh dear, it was. It was all Andre. He wasn't forced there. He's just outbroke himself and down the order he goes. And John actually done all right to survive that. He actually stays ahead of everybody. So, that wasn't as bad as we thought. Dan Blake. We didn't see what happened to him. Oh, into the back of Donny. And Dan Thornton, who gets tagged round. And then he just slows down to almost a stop. Carraday and Murray into the corkscrew. Murray breaks late, tags Carraday round. Down the corkscrew he goes. And I think Murray came to a stop there. So let him keep that position. But we want to find out what's been going on at the front end, because these guys have been going at it. And I think Mats Borg-Andersen's just had a crash as Morgan drifts out wide. So this is a different incident. This wasn't how Mats got down to third. It has been kicking off at the front. Mats Borg-Andersen out to the outside of Jake Cranston. Morgan Burkhardt right out wide. Is this how... That is how Mats Borg-Andersen... Oh, look at them both. They've come together. Mats Borg-Andersen had a bit of a stop, and now Morgan Burkhardt's down into P4. Connor Mills is in P2, chasing down Jake Cranston. So mistake after mistake there from the leaders. Let's go back live just to see what is happening. And that is your current order. Jake Cranston in the lead, 1 second back to Connor Mills. 1.1 second back is Morgan Burkhardt. John Bailiff all over the back of Carl Ridley. He's having a look to the inside of the corkscrew. He's there, he's fully there. He's going to get it done on the brakes, but Carl's going to try and go around the outside. He's going to hold it onto the track, and Carl Ridley round the outside of the corkscrew. Wow, well done that man. The number 27 Australian driver. He has a little bit of a blink though. Surely he's going to reappear. Yeah, there he goes. That's one bad downside of being Australian. I hope he doesn't disconnect, because he'll be enjoying this up in P5. He's having a hell of a race up here. Stephen King just watching it happen. I'm sure the drivers will be telling him about his connection. We're lap 5 out of 10. I can't actually find where Mats originally lost the lead. Oh, as I say that, I think this might be it. Into the corkscrew. Mats drifted himself. Oh, just about got it stopped. Oh, I need to see that again, because that, from Morgan's point of view, let's have a look. Beautiful. Couldn't ask for a better handing of the lead, but now it's all changed, as Connor Mills has shut the gap to Jake Cranston to 7 tenths, but Morgan Burkhardt will be keeping them in sight. Marcel Friesch chasing down Andy Fox. I think this was the other way round earlier, so I think Andy's been making moves. He's up into P10. Dan Downing is struggling for race pace. He was quick in qualifying. He's now down 7 places from where he started. The biggest loser, of course, is Andre Majorek, who was in the pits, down 26 from where he started. He started in second. Duncan Murray's now down 10 after that incident we saw. Biggest gainers, though, it's got to be this man. Meatball Motorsport, number 35, Stephen Fry. He's got Stephen Burns all over the back of him in Masters of Traction car, who says he hates Laguna Seca. There seems to have been a crash there up ahead. There has. That's Jameson Huffman and Jerry Agard into the corkscrew. Oh dear, Jameson Huffman just straight into the back of the Swiss driver, who's got a very nice rear wing, actually. It must be said. And then they reverse back on, trying to get back into the race as soon as they can. You hate to see it, but on the plus side, we get a nice shot of that rear wing that he's beautifully designed since the last time we've seen that car. I'm going to need to catch up on chat in a minute, but we're on lap 7 of 10. Dan Thornton is up in 18th place. I'm sure he had contact with someone earlier, so he's doing all right here. Carl Ridley's still blinking in and out. He's got John Bailiff all over the back of him, still up there at the top end. But Dan Thornton chasing down Ika Lequay there for P17. The closest fight, though, looks to be these lot. Let's have a look. What have I missed in chat since going through all those replays of what's been happening? Marcel Fries is looking dangerously close to Andy Fox, though. He's on the inside of the corkscrew. Can he brake as late as he dares? Andy Fox gives him room on the apex, the first apex, and he gets it stopped for the second. That's twice we've seen a Win It or Bin It car do that, but Marcel Fries is going to look down the inside of the swooping left. They're side by side down here. Andy Fox is going to hold it around the outside, and now Marcel's in a compromised position into this fast right-hander as Kieran Dempsey looks up the inside. Now they're heading towards the final corner, a 90-degree left, a hard braking zone, but Marcel's got the inside line, and Andy Fox looks to have held that position nicely, unless Marcel can get the exit, but it looks like Kieran Dempsey's got the better exit. Kieran Dempsey right behind him is now looking to get the slipstream down towards turn 1. This is a nice little train of 5-6 cars separated by nothing. Dan Downing behind them. He's got a good view of all of this, and behind Dan is Joe Gibson, who's also got a good view of all of this. Where are we? Bob says check them for performance-enhancing drugs. Alt for Norgay says Germo. That was when Mats Borg Anderson was in the lead. A load of drift comments because of how much people are losing the rear end. Is that a type? Is this a Type R race? It's not a. In terms of the track, if that's what you're asking, in terms of Type R, it does look like this Laguna Seca was suited to the Hondas more. But saying that, you have got these two Audis up in second and third as per usual. As I can just see an issue for Jan Weiswanger in the Audi, as we mentioned the car. Got Jameson Huffman right behind him. I think Jameson's going to look to the inside of the final corner. Oh, and Jan Weiswanger brakes on the sand. No damage though. Gets to continue. We see that quite often. But Connor Mills, look how why are they so far off track here? Not using any of the road there. That was an interesting line from Mr. Cranston. Maybe just trying to break the slipstream as the gap is now 0.3 of a second to Connor Mills and Jake Cranston. Your battle for the lead. Bob says Laguna Seca is trash. He has no pace here at all, so by default it's trash. Hexbash Plays says, I can understand hating Laguna Seca in a front-wheel drive car. I think that's how it works for everyone. The satchel on those two doing that through the corkscrew, says Bob. It's amazing stuff. Some of the racing we've seen. I think more people have survived than expected for race 1, but we know what it gets like in race 3, so we'll have to wait and see for that. But your front two, Jake Cranston and Connor Mills. Morgan Burkhardt in P3, Mats Borg Anderson in P4. He'll be disappointed with that, especially with the rear end of that Honda effectively costing him this win, I think. He looks fairly strong. On the plus side, the second race, the top 6 are reversed. So currently John Bailiff is on pole for race 2. Dan Blake and Huffman swapping places in 25th and 26th. But your top two, 0.7 of a second the gap. It was 0.3 earlier, so Jake is starting to pull away from the man behind him. A new sponsor on the side of that car by the looks of it. So some sponsorship changes at All Sports Racing, maybe some new funding. And this is what it looks like from behind Jake Cranston's car, so down towards turn 1. We're on the final lap now. The white flag is out. Last lap, 10 laps in, 0.4 of a second. You can see Connor Mills flashing his headlights to try and distract the All Sports driver. Closes in to turn 2. Mats Borg Anderson is actually starting to put Morgan Burkhardt under pressure, as I've just seen Dan Thornton has also passed Ika Lequay back there. And that race is fairly done, so he's done it on the straight as Dan Thornton. But your lead fight as they head up towards the hill now. in towards the kink. Can Jake keep it together? He's got half a lap to go. 4 attempts to gaff. He's still flashing his lights as Connor Mills. Heading towards the corkscrew now. 6 tenths of a second. Into the left. Looking very squirrely is that Honda. Down the hill. Connor Mills right behind him. 4 tenths of a second. Down past the trees. 5 tenths of a second. I think he's done it. It's not going to be as close as we all thought it might be. But Connor Mills in second place and Jake Cranston leading the way in towards the final corner. Round he goes. Connor Mills did close the gap into that final corner by the looks of it, but here it is. Jake Cranston takes race 1 win. He didn't expect that, I'm sure, but there he goes across the line, flashing his headlights. Jake Cranston takes the win of race 1 with Connor Mills in second, Morgan Burkhardt in P3, and Mats Borgans in P4, and Kyle Ridley P5. Well done, that man. John Bailiff P6 is going to be starting race 2 on pole. Stephen King collects another safe amount of points in P7. Sam Van Olst made it up into P8 in the end. He gained 10 places from where he started. The biggest gainer of everybody, Sam Van Olst there in the Goldwing Audi. 10 places. Eric Mannenveld up 2. Andy Fox up 2. Kieran Dempsey up 2 places. Dan Downing down 6 places. Joe Gibson up 2. Mod Taki up 3. Another person down 6 places was Marcel Friesch. Must have got forced out somewhere. Christian Ribeiro made it up into 22nd place in the Honda from 29th, so he's done all right. Dan Blake was up 3, and there we go. We tick straight over into race 2. Sam didn't start from the back today, Martin, but we need to get this grid done. John Bailiff, Carl Ridley, your front row. Anderson and Burkhardt, second row. Mills and Cranston are your third row. King, Van Olst, Mannenveld, Fox, Dempsey and Downing, your top 12. Gibson, Taki, Corpus Frisch, Thornton, LeQuay, Fry, Burns, Henriksen, Ribeiro, Murray and Huffman. Blake, Agard, Carraday, Majorek and Weiswanger. Andre Majorek, 1 to watch. Second fastest in qualifying, is about to start, 28th place. We know the tactic by now. What will he be aiming for? He should be aiming for 12th place in this race so that he can get a reverse pole. That will be the best bet for that man. Can he do it? And here we go. This is what your grid looks like from this end. Morgan Burkhardt in the Audi there in 4th place. He's going to be looking to pass all of these Hondas by the time they get to turn 1. And the lights come on. 10 more laps. Race 2 straight away. There will be a break between race 2 and 3. Only a few minutes, like 10 minutes. But here we go. All 5 lights are on. And away they go. A fairly good start from Bailiff there in pole position. Cranston tucks right in behind Connor Mills it was. And look at that. Look at them all come flying through across the line. Dan Blake nice and safe in last place. And now towards turn 1 they go. And John Bailiff is leading into turn 1 as Burkhardt tries to outbrake himself. Carl Ridley's on the inside of John Bailiff. Is he going to take the lead? Carl Ridley, the Australian driver, takes the lead, moves up into P1, and Morgan Burkhardt gets a big shove from Bailiff, who I don't think knew he was there. 3 wide into turn 2 behind. That was Mills, Burkhardt, and Mats Borg-Anderson. You've got Jake Cranston involved. King is in there as well. Then they go 2 wide into the next corner. It's risky stuff. Mats Borg-Anderson makes contact with Morgan Burkhardt there. Jake Cranston now ahead. Morgan Burkhardt is being shoveled down the order. He needs to keep his cool as Jake Cranston sends it into the left-hander on Mats Borg-Anderson there to try and keep as many positions as he can. And Carl Ridley has had a big drift into that corner and he loses the lead. And now it's a pulseless 1-2. Jake Cranston in P3. Sam Van Olst on the inside of King into the kink. King holds it with a bit of contact there from Sam Van Olst. Morgan Burkhardt now on the inside of Stephen King as they head towards the corkscrew. Morgan Burkhardt is going to get that position, and Andy Fox is going to have a look at making that move as well, but backs out of it, and Joe Gibson takes advantage of him backing out of it and moves up past Andy Fox. What a move from Joe Gibson as they went into the corkscrew. Sam Van Olst down the inside of him now. And look at his run. It's completely ruined. He's getting a nudge from behind from Eric Mannenveld as they're carrying the speed through. Duncan Murray's coming up on my screen as he's had a crash. Andre Majorek is still in last place, so he hasn't gained. Dan Downing is off the track. He's now down in last. But man, oh man, what an opening lap we've just had. And Kyle Ridley, he'll be fuming. He was in the lead. A great move for P1. And he definitely lost the rear end. And just now he's down in 12th place. That will give him another go at reverse pole, though, as Dan Thornton goes down the order. I saw him in the background. He is serving a slowdown on the main straight. And now Andre Majorek moves up into another position. What happened, though, to Duncan Murray? Why did it come up saying he's crashed? It's in the corkscrew again. Does he outbrake himself for a second time? Oh, Stephen Burns has gone off the track. that is why. That is not Duncan's fault. Stephen Burns just couldn't get it stopped, and they do actually continue, so that's good. What happened to Dan Downing? I think we were just about to see it. Bit of a nudge from behind from Mr. Agard. Big drift in the Hyundai. Oh, and off to the right he goes, and that is a big hit into the wall. He will be coming into the pit. His wheel's gone, so he will definitely be coming into the pits, and that'll be a picture for Kakula for sure. You've got the two ORD boys on track together, and currently setting purple sector after purple sector is this man, Jake Cranston, round the outside of Connor Mills into the corkscrew. Can't quite get it done. What a battle this is going to be. We've got Matsborg Anderson there in fourth yet again, and Morgan Burkhardt's going to be trying to close this fight up. Your second, third, and fourth place people. All the meanwhile, John Bailiff, the man I tipped at the start in one of the Hondas, is running away in first place. He's 1 second in the lead now as Jake Cranston goes around the outside of the final corner. Can't quite get it done there. Connor Mills forcing him out there, and Matsborg Anderson gaining that position. Jake not fully alongside, but you could say that he was entitled to some room there. Matsborg Anderson in P3 now as a result of that, who's going to look to send it into turn 1 but thinks better of it. Duncan Murray is still in P22 after that crash he had with Burns, and Matsborg Anderson does send it down into turn 1 and makes it up into P2, so Connor Mills losing a position there. Down into P3 he goes, and now he's got Jake Cranston for company all over again. All the meanwhile, John Bailiff 1.2 seconds in the lead, and Morgan Burkhardt closing ever closer into this fight. A quick shout out to Joe Gibson, up 6 places. He's up in P7 for the ORD team, but the other two are down in 26th and 27th. That will not be what they want in terms of points finishes, especially with Win It or Bin It. Andy Fox and Carl Ridley both in the top 10. Dan Blake down there in 23rd, also outscoring both of the other ORD cars. Stephen Fry down in 24th, chasing down 6 tenths back from Dan Blake there. Donnie Henriksen is battling Christian Ribeiro in the midfield. He's actually currently by himself as Jake Cranston is making moves on Connor Mills again. He's on the inside of the corkscrew. Connor's going to try and hold it around the outside. They touch as Jake turns in towards the apex. A bit of a drift from Jake there. Connor Mills now down into P4, and Morgan Burkhardt, his championship rival, right behind him. And now this is where team play is going to come into it. Connor Mills sends it down the fast right. He's going to ruin his run down towards the final corner. As a result of trying to make that move, he's going to force Morgan Burkhardt to the outside. He pinches him on the entry to the corner. He gets it turned in and accelerates out. And now he's got the slipstream from the All Sports car, who's going to try and do everything he can to let his teammate back past. This is the championship fight that you are seeing on track. But at the moment, it's 2 versus 1. Jake Cranston leading the way. He's going to open up the inside towards turn 1 and swoop down diagonally across. But Connor was wise to it and broke nice and early. He's still got Morgan Burkhardt there, but I said it was 2 versus 1. It's becoming 2v2 as Stephen King starts entering the fray in the Pulsar eSports Hyundai. We haven't seen a team fight like this for a while as Matsborg Anderson closes down on John Bailiff up there in the lead. It's 4 tenths the gap now, 2 tenths the gap even. That is closing fast. What has happened up here? John Bailiff must have made a mistake. Has he lost the rear end of that Honda? Because Matsborg Anderson is trying around the outside of turn 3. And up the hill they go towards the kink. He done well to defend that. Dan Downing was involved in that fight somehow. He's a lap down and needs to move right out the way of this championship fight. He comes to a stop just before the kink, and that was the right decision. Stephen Fry's just been passed by Andre Majorek down there in 24th place, but John Bailiff holds on to the lead after fending off Matsborg Anderson. It must have been a drift. The Honda rear end is very unstable through this track, and Jake Cranston has now joined the back of this. Morgan Burkhardt still chasing down Connor Mills. Stephen King has dropped back quite a long way actually from that fight, who he was closing right in on in that fight. I just don't know. I don't know who to root for, guys. Let me know in chat, wherever you're watching, VCO Esports, YouTube or Twitch, or the Racing Line YouTube or Twitch. Who are you supporting right now? I missed out a comment earlier. It was from Matalinius, the VCO emojis. He's always joining, and I greatly appreciate it over there on VCO Twitch, I imagine, as Eric Mannenveld and Andy Fox are side by side down towards turn 1. Look at this. 2 Win It or Bin It cars, Virtus Alertus Academy car. Into turn 1 they go. Eric Mannenveld's got the inside line. That is the best line through turn 1. And Andy Fox slots in behind as to not lose any position. Stephen Fry and Dan Thornton are going at it towards turn 1 as well. I think Thornton might have just made that move, and Weisbanger sends it down the inside as well, with the front end of that Stephen Fry's Meatball Motorsport Hyundai looking a little worse for wear there. Matsborg Anderson still all over the back of John Bailiff. This is what it looks like on the back of John's Honda. Matsborg Anderson just, I don't know if it's slipstream or just, he's just keeping his cool together. In towards the kink they go. John gets a better exit out there. It's really hard to follow through turn 6, the kink. Cat 2016 is voting for Carl Ridley. That is 9th and 10th they are currently in. Into the corkscrew they go. Mats Borg-Andersen can't quite close in there. Bob to Downing, you have failed me for the last time. Downing currently down in last place with Sam Van Olst, actually. Why did Sam go into the pits? I think he had an issue of his own. And let's find out what it was. Oh dear. That's what that is. He doesn't fully reverse onto the track. It's always awkward watching a rejoin. Down the hill he goes, down the gravel. And he comes into the pits as a result of that. Car looking a little worse for wear. Let's go back live. Lap 6 out of 10, 4 laps to go. No safety cars today. Touch wood, we don't get one in race 3. It's looking fairly close this race. Everyone seems to have calmed down a little bit. Marcel Frisch here in P13 chasing down Corpus there in P12. And the Fear Factor Hyundai chasing down the Lurchers Academy car. Jake Cranston setting purple sectors. He is, I think, trying to help Mats Borg-Andersen chase down John Bailiff. Jerry Agard and Duncan Murray swapping places back here. Side by side. Ooh, it's looking very close between those two. I don't even know what part of the track this is. It's up towards the kink. Duncan Murray on the inside towards the kink. It's very risky to race through here. Jerry gives him room and they make it through. Side by side, the Swiss driver on the outside of the South African sweeps round into the kink and keeps that position for 20th place. And Dan Blake nearly outbreaks himself into the back of Jerry Agard, but he gets the move done on Duncan Murray, and I can see one man in the pits once again in race 2. His race 2 woes continue. It's Donny Alpha Henriksen. What happened to him? Onto the dirt. Oh, whoa! Car just swoops round to the right. Interesting stuff from that Hyundai, but there it is. Oh dear, every time we cut away from a replay it all starts kicking off. Mats Borg-Andersen and Jake Cranston are through on John Bailiff, taking the lead. Connor Mills up into P3. Let's have a replay of this then. Down towards turn 2. Mats Borg-Andersen on the inside. He was definitely there with plenty of time. John Bailiff, so he just caught the end of it, shoved out wide, and Jake Cranston comes through. He'll be frustrated with that after having led for so long. But we have to, I think, from the outside looking in, that move was fairly on for Mats Borg-Andersen. A great move, in fact, for the lead. And now he's got Jake Cranston right behind him. Connor Mills behind that. Morgan Burkhardt is currently P5. So Connor just doing exactly what he needs to do. He's not fighting too hard. The car's ahead. He knows full well that Cranston is Morgan's teammate. All he needs to do is finish ahead of Burkhardt, really. That's all he needs to do. And getting drawn into a fight with an All Sports Racing teammate is not what he wants to do. Mats Borg-Andersen not quite in the championship fight just yet, but with another win, he can definitely drag himself back in as Mills is forced to the outside by Cranston there. Mats Borg-Andersen could be on for a race win. This place is sacred, said Austin Farr Racing 79. Hate the track, says Valdez 31, but loves the racing. I never realised there was so much Laguna Seca hate. I don't know whether it's just because it's one of those tracks that everyone drives at the start of their iRacing careers. Is it just overly difficult as Majorek now moves up into P20, up on the inside of Agard into turn 2. Still has the inside into turn 3. And Agard runs out wide. He's going to be on the dirt, and I think Dan Blake's going to come through as well as a result of that. Dan Blake does move up into 21st. Jerry Agard and Dan Thornton. He's going to lose out 3 places there, Jerry Agard, in a matter of corners in one sector of this circuit. And somehow, every time we cut away, Mats Borg-Andersen is now tumbling down the order. Jake Cranston leads the way for yet another race as John Bailiff sends out the inside of the fast right. Mats Borg-Andersen gets on the dirt and does. Wow, what a move by Mats Borg-Andersen, swooping across. Morgan Burkhardt up the inside of John Bailiff into the final corner. He's not going to give him room on the exit. He's had enough of that. He's not playing nice anymore, is Morgan Burkhardt. But Jake Cranston leads the way yet again. This is the same top two as race 1. 4 attempts. They're back at it. Lap 9 out of 10. And the order resumes. How did Jake Cranston get the move done on Anderson? Towards the corkscrew they go. And just goes, sweeps round the outside. That's Borg-Andersen pretty much coming to a stop on that first apex. But a brilliant move there for Jake Cranston to take the lead, and Connor Mills goes through on the inside of the sweeper. Interesting stuff. I think another quick shout out for these guys here. Win it or bin it. Carl Ridley having an absolute storming drive today. He's got his teammate Fox behind, Kieran Dempsey behind him in P11. Driver I picked to watch for the rest of the season, I should have said, not today. Kieran Dempsey, definitely one to watch. He always sneaks up a couple of good results, but no podium to his name yet. Will he get one before the season ends? We've got 3 tracks left as Duncan Murray has just passed Jan Weiswanger. I say that. The battle continues into the corkscrew. Jan's forced out wide. Oh, that might be a slowdown, but now he's got the high Hyundai coming through of Stephen Fry. And Sam Van Olst might actually catch up to the end of this train. Purple sector for Mats Borg-Andersen as we approach lap 10. This is our final lap. The white flag is out. Lap 10 of 10. One more lap to go of race 2. And again, everyone bar 1 or 2 people surviving. I'm going to be interested to hear the reception from drivers after this. What did they think of this round? Because the racing looks like it's been quite intense, to be honest. All the way through the field, there seems to be someone fighting someone. Or is it just too much of a train? It's quite difficult to pass here, it seems, but these guys are not making it look like that way. As soon as one person passes, it opens up the floodgates for everyone behind. That's the trouble. But it looks like Jake Cranston is on his way to take 2 wins of 2 today at Laguna Seca. Mats Borg-Andersen closing down Connor Mills with a couple of corners to go. Into the sweeping right, down towards the final corner. Is Matt's going to have a look up the inside of the final corner? He thought about it. Connor Mills defends, forces Mats Borg-Andersen round to the outside. Sam Van Olst does catch up to the rest of the train. He's just past Fry. Mats Borg-Andersen round the outside. He's got to run down towards the line. Who's going to cross it? Jake Cranston wins race 2, but who's going to cross it first? Mats Borg-Andersen or Connor Mills? Oh, it was close. Neck and neck for P2 and 3, pretty much. Morgan Burkhardt there in P4. John Bailiff and Stephen King, P5 and 6. Joe Gibson cracking round for Joe. P7 there for the ORD car. Eric Mannenveld, another strong performance from him for Lurch's Academy. And going back to the constructors, there was one team who needs to watch their back for Lurch's Academy. I don't know if you can remember who that is, but currently Lurch's Academy in this race got an 8th, a 12th and a 15th. And the rival team they're closing down were 24th and lower. They will be coming under pressure from that team if Eric can keep carrying. Ika's had some strong performances. But that is race 2 over, and we're into our 7-minute break. Bailiff got absolutely muscled out. He did. That's what happens. As soon as one car gets through, they all start following through. Let's have a look. 40 seconds into the break. It's chill out time before one more race of the same thing with the top 12 reverse this time. But let's have a rundown of our race results. Not Honda results. There we go. The full race results. This is how race 1 ended. Jake Cranston, win number 1 of the day. Connor Mills P2, Morgan Burkhardt P3, Mats Borgansen P4, Ridley P5, John Bailiff P6, King P7, Sam Van Olst P8, Mannenfeld P9 and Andy Fox P10, with Kieran Dempsey and Dan Downing just outside of the top 10 there in 11th and 12th. Joe Gibson, Taki, Corpus, Frisch, Thornton and McQuay rounding off your top 18. And you got Fry up there in 19th, who beat Stephen Burns in the end. Donnie Henriksen 21st, Christian Ribeiro in 22nd, Murray 23rd, Huffman 24th, Blake, Agard, Karaday, Majorek and Weiswanger. Majorek going to be definitely disappointed with that after starting P2. And then your race 2 ended up looking like this. The top 2 very much the same. The only difference being Mats Borgansen and Morgan Burkhardt swapped round from race 1. So Jake Cranston another win, Connor Mills P2 and Mats Borgansen P3 just ahead of Morgan Burkhardt. John Bailiff there and Stephen King in P5 and 6. Joe Gibson P7, Mannenfeld, Ridley P9, Fox P10. So Ridley 2 top 10s. Kieran Dempsey P11 again. It'll be interesting if he finishes P11 in the next one. Corpus, Frisch, Taki, LeQuay, Huffman, Ribeiro and Burns. Ribeiro up into P17. He's having a good round today. Compared to Watkins, he's not doing bad. I haven't seen him get involved in any incidents, which is good. And Stephen Burns up there in P18, so he had a better race than race 1. Karaday P19. Majorek made it up to 20th. Didn't quite make it to 12th, but 20th will be a better start than last for race 3. That is for sure. Blake there in 21st, Agar 22nd, Murray and Van Olst down in 23rd and 24th, Fry 25th, Weiswanger, Thornton, Downing and Henriksen rounding off the field. Dan, Daniel and Donny, all the Ds at the bottom. Duncan and other Dan outperforming there up in 21st and 23rd place. Andre Majorek joins in YouTube chat, says corkscrewed. Yes. And we watched it back. Just in case there was contact. It would have been gutting if there was. But it was just a hard break from that man. I think I've just seen someone. We had 2 people follow us on Twitch today. That's good to see. Thank you very much. Hand Drive and Adolfo. I have a I could be wrong here. I've got a feeling Adolfo is Jesus Mundere, who's the only driver who didn't make it today. But I could be wrong about that, so just in case. But he's one of the Lurchers boys, I know that for sure. Yes, you gave too much space and ended up feeding the sandworm. Is that what all those gifs have been? Is it a Dune reference? The sandworm. I haven't seen that film. I should see that film. Has anyone else seen Dune? Let me know in chat. We're in break time. We can talk about these things. We've gone through the order. We've done everything. We've got a couple minutes. It's just a rest. Grab a drink. Grab something to eat. Sam Van Olst sat in the pits. Maybe he wants some TV time. Here you go. Have a look at that Goldwing car. Should we have a look around it? This is what the Audi looks inside. I haven't seen one of these in real life, the RS3 touring car, but is the mirror still like that, where it just covers the whole top of the car? I feel like that would be off-putting. Maybe it does help, maybe it doesn't. Not sure. Let's see. You can probably all guess. 10 points to the first person who can guess whose helmet that is. Before I change the camera view. Kakala in chat, in Twitch, moaning at me, saying I chose the wrong time of day for this race. Can't get very good corkscrew picks, not the iconic ones anyway. Are you talking about a lovely sunset? Is it a sunset corkscrew picture that you want? Oh, Sam Van Olst is going out on track. He must know that he's being watched. Also, the boys threw way too much sand on the track there. That is probably more true. That's the most accurate thing. Is the boys just dust clouds into the corkscrew every lap. There's another car on track, and it's Kieran Dempsey in the Meatball Motorsport Audi. You got 1 minute left, guys. Before we head into our final race of the day. Good time to obviously point out our schedule. We are on round 9. Our final race in the American leg before we go to a break week. And then we head off to Interlagos. And then a short, stressful flight over to Japan. And then a nice flight south down to Australia for Phillip Island. So the Audis looking like they're on the back foot today to the Hondas. Only ever so slightly, but enough. Phillip Island, last time we went there during testing, the Audis looked very much to have the advantage. So that'll be interesting to see what happens in that round, to be honest. And then, of course, the celebration is not mandatory, but a nice little 100-kilometer race back first. Tip over into the final race. And here we go then. It's grid time. David Corpus. I'll tell you, I did not clock that. Look who's on pole position. It's David Corpus for Lurch's Academy, and Kieran Dempsey's in P2 with Andy Fox and Carl Ridley for Win It or Bin It in P3 and 4. Manintveld, Gibson, King, Bailiff, Burkhard, Anson, Mills and Cranston, your top 12. We've then got Friesch, Taki, Lequay, Huffman, Ribeiro, Burns, Caraday, Mayerek, Blake, Agard, Murray and Vinolst, Fry, Weiswanger, Thornton, Downing and Henriksen rounding off your top 29. But what a front row that is. We have not seen that before. David Corpus sits on pole position for the feature race, the final race. It's not really a feature, they're all the same length. And Kieran Dempsey in the Audi and Andy Fox in the Audi in second and third. Watch those boys as they head down towards turn 1. Here we go, the final race of the day. The lights are about to come on. 3, 4, 5 lights are on. Off they go, and now everybody's going to pull away. Look at the start that Kieran Dempsey and Andy Fox are going to get. Andy Fox looks to have had the run there as they head down towards turn 1. They all start jostling down. Over the brow of the hill they go, and look at that. Kieran Dempsey's going to take the lead. Andy Fox is going to go right out wide to try and go around the outside of Corpus. Morgan Burkhard there is on the inside of Manintveld. Bailiff's on the outside of that. King's on the outside of that, and Connor Mills is going to try and follow Burkhard through. Carl Ridley's off the track again. That is Joe Gibson up there. Morgan Burkhard shoots through, and look at that. Mills getting forced out there by Manintveld. All the Pulsars cars together. Friesch is keeping it safe. Anderson's keeping it safe. You got Stephen Burns in the Masters and Traction Audi there, who's making gains. Sam Vinolst is up into P19 already, so he's had a flying start at the back end. He's racing Christian Ribeiro back here as Morgan Burkhard goes up the inside of Joe Gibson in towards turn 3, and up the hill they go. Kieran Dempsey's going to try and get as much of a lead as he can as they fly up. It sounded like there was contact there at the back, but it looks like they've all survived the next turn. Heading towards the kink they go, and they're all fairly safe through there. Into the corkscrew. They all come flying through. Bailiff and Friesch going at it, and look at that. Huffman, Taki as well, Lequay. So side by side, Taki and Huffman go through. More and more cars. And they all come swooping down the hill towards the next left-hander. Behind the trees we go. And look at that, Andy Fox getting forced out wide. Morgan Burkhard's going to move up into P3 already, but Andy Fox is not going to let that slide. He's on the inside of the final corner, and now away down towards turn 1 they go. Kyle Ridley is still very much there, as we see Huffman off the track in the background. But Morgan Burkhard and Andy Fox side by side as they head towards turn 1. Andy Fox is going to try his best to keep this position. He's on for a podium here, but Morgan Burkhard on the brakes swoops into turn 1. Oh, that was just incredible braking force from that Audi in the number 2. And moves up into third, and now he's got Corpus for company. Kieran Dempsey currently leads the way by 1.3 seconds. Is that enough? You've got 8 laps to go. Sam Vinolst is currently dropping down, as is Taki, so I think there's been a bit of rubbing back here. Taki and Huffman are side by side in towards the next kink, and look at Sam Vinolst on the inside of Caraday. On turn 4, just about stops in front. Stephen Burns, I think, has lost a few positions. Sam Vinolst is up 7 places from the start, but Morgan Burkhard is up 6. Doing everything he needs to. His teammate, who's won both the races so far, is stuck behind Mats Borg Anderson here in P12. Mats Borg Anderson is going to be wanting to fight that as much as he can. Connor Mills currently in P9. He's not going to want to see Morgan Burkhard all the way up there. Sam Vinolst is still making moves. Huffman, I think, being muscled out and down the order. Into the corkscrew they go. Montaki, the next one. And who was that flying off? That's Christian Ribeiro and Stephen Burns, just as we were talking about them. That's unfortunate. Just looked like the Honda shot to the right. Oh no, Stephen Burns just lost it on the brakes. Oh, Christian will be gutted with that. He had a cracking round so far. And I think that's going to be kind of it. And look at this, Corpus not really putting up a fight for Morgan Burkhardt there. Oh, whoa, I say that, and there's a bit of a touch there. Burkhardt's off. He's going to go off onto the exit turn one. He needs to get back on the track as soon as he can. There's more contact behind there, and look at the amount of cars that's going through. Stephen King, bit of contact with Joe Gibson there, and now Connor Mills is going to be forced to the outside again by Eric Mannenfeld, who's just squeezing him, and Morgan Burkhardt and Connor Mills have found themselves on track again, side by side in towards turn 4. Who's going to come out? The championship rivals together. Connor Mills just about cuts in front, and there's been a crash behind as well. It was Taki and Huffman. Sam Van Olst down towards turn 1. Huffman just going to go in deep. That is clumsy from Jameson there. Just spins round Taki. I think more people involved. And just about surviving. That is pretty close to a safety car, but I think the only 2 cars in the pits will leave that for now. There might be a bigger one. Connor Mills, P7, Morgan Burkhardt right behind him, your championship rivals down in P7 and 8. Eric Mannenfeld, it has to be said, has been putting up a massive fight for this P6. So he is being put in on stern defence, and I'll tell you what, look at your boys up in P3 and 4. It's only 2 minutes. Kyle Ridley and Andy Fox are up in 3rd and 4th. David Corpus is still in P2, probably under investigation from the contact with Morgan, let's be honest. It was slightly clumsy. And we can have a look at it again in a second. But Kieran Dempsey, 2 seconds in the lead. Is this it? The podiumless driver. Kieran Dempsey, the Irish driver in the grid, number 86. Kieran Dempsey, no podiums, leads the way, 2.1 seconds. I think this is the incident between Morgan and Corpus. I'm not really sure. Do you know what? I say Corpus is under investigation. It just looks like Morgan wanted to open up the corner more than he needed to. And off he went. Just trying to save it. And this is the painful bit. Comes back on track. And everyone is trying to come through. Yeah, on second review, it was easy to blame the Lurchers car, but that was all Morgan trying to take more room than he needed. And then losing out here. It won't be a massive blow since they're only 1 position apart. But remember, this race is all about gaining momentum over the final break of the season. We've got 3 rounds left after this, a triple header after a 1-week break, and who is going to take that momentum into the final 3 rounds? Someone said Downing, who's currently in 23rd and was last place in the last race, so it's not going to be him. He's going to be feeling pretty deflated after Laguna Seca. If there wasn't half the grid, oh dear, Mannenfeld and Mats Borg Anderson coming into contact there. Mannenfeld really is fighting this. He's actually been passed by both Mills and Burkhardt somehow. I think he went off track. Let's see if we can find out how that happened. Oh, so he's gone wide there onto the dirt. Connor Mills on the inside. Bit of contact there. That'll probably be investigated as well. And then he defended. Look at that late defense to Morgan Burkhardt down the inside. And Morgan Burkhardt has a look around the outside. Bit of contact there. Shuts the door. It's feisty stuff from these two. And then Mannenfeld tries coming back through Burkhardt. Frisch and Gibson there up the road. Made contact by the looks of it. Ooh, Gibson round. Sam Van Olst off. Is Gibson alive? He is alive. Comes back on, flashing his lights. Marcel Frisch went off track. Just carried too much speed through there. As Sam Van Olst looks like he's just made a move on Andre Mayerek in the background as well. Let's go back live. find out what is happening, because Kyle Ridley is looking ever closer to David Corpus, who's looking to get his first podium. Kyle Ridley, one podium already this season. He's on his way to his second, and John Bailiff and Andy Fox, ex-teammates here. John Bailiff used to drive for Win It or Bin It, and Andy Fox will not let this race go easily, although John Bailiff swoops around the outside. Andy Fox is going to keep the inside into the next fast right. Let's have a look at how this goes. John Bailiff swoops around the outside and does keep that position. Moves up into P4, does John, so good move there, although there was definitely contact at turn 1. These two have also been going at it. That's Borg Anderson and Jake Cranston, both behind Eric Mannenfeld, into the fast left. Swooping into the fast right. The two Hondas side by side. All Sports Racing versus Fear Factor. They're fighting in the team's championship. They're fighting in the manufacturer's championship. And that's Borg Anderson slots into the front. And Morgan Burkhardt flashing his lights there. Just can't find his way through Connor Mills. I guarantee he's going to be... Oh dear, contact there into turn 1. There's going to be investigations on those two for sure. As it looks like Connor Mills is now trying to pass Andy Fox. This is for P5, so Connor Mills is going to get pushed by Morgan, I reckon, to try and get this move done, as they're both trying to climb up the order. I'm surprised that Morgan was pushing his championship rival, though. Now he's going to be on the outside of Andy Fox in towards the next corner. 3.7 seconds in the lead is Kieran Dempsey, though. As Germo said in chat, it's his to lose now, as Morgan just about slots in front of Andy Fox, and Mats Borg Anderson is still looking for a way past Eric Mannenfeld here. Down towards the next left. Oh, Mats Borg Anderson shoots to the inside. Is he going to get this done? He has to be later on the brakes. He does. Look at that. Swoops in. You just saw the rear left slightly come off the ground there as he makes that move. That'll make a cracking photo at the angle that we just had. I know you don't really get a sense of speed in photos sometimes, but that was a late break. Swooped in, hit the apex nicely, did Mats Borg Anderson, past Eric Mannenfeld, who's been difficult to pass for a lot of the drivers today. And all the while, John Bailiff is trying to deny Kyle Ridley of his podium, but Dan Blake and Donny Alpha Henriksen side by side into the corkscrew. Here the two Hyundai drivers go. He's got Dan Downing behind them as well. So 3 Hyundais altogether. Eric Mannenfeld now under pressure from Mr. Cranston. Down the back straight they go. Cranston looks a little bit far back to get that move done. This is how these guys exited that corner. This is the nose of Donny Alpha Henriksen trying to chase down Dan Blake for 20th place. Bob asking in chat, would this be 3 new podium sitters? It would be 2. Kyle Ridley had a 2nd place finish all the way back at round 2 in Knock Hill, if I remember rightly. A surprise 2nd place finish. It's Jake Cranston and Eric Mannenfeld side by side. Jake Cranston around the outside. Oh dear, there's a lot of door shutting today. Smart by Jake Cranston to back out of that, to be honest. And look at that. That's Mats Borg Anderson off the track up ahead, who's just been passed by Andy Fox. Morgan Burkhardt's also been off track somehow. It's too much curb. Bounced wide. Oh, really wide. Over to the left-hand side of the track. He's going to keep the speed, though. We're going to see what happens to Mats Borg Anderson. Eric Mannenfeld tried passing him. And I think at the top of this hill, should see what happened to him. He turns in. Oh no, it wasn't here. I'm sure we saw him off. There we go. Bounced off the curb. Out wide he goes. Right out there. Drifts it. Tries to get back on track. Loses a load of positions. These two side by side down towards turn 1. John Bailiff, Morgan Burkhardt trying to get the move done. Morgan holding him tight. Tries to go around the outside. This is a risky move every time. But Morgan is absolutely racing for his life today. Stuck to the back of that Pulsar's Honda. Trying to find his way through, but just can't. It's so frustrating. When you know, you just know that you've got the pace. And this is the move for P2. David Corpus, Kyle Ridley. So he's going around the outside of the corkscrew. Down towards the corkscrew they go. Kyle Ridley on the outside of Corpus, who breaks nice and late, holds the inside line. Kyle Ridley round the outside, has the inside for the next corner, and up into P2 goes Kyle Ridley. Great stuff. Lap 9 of 10, and this is Jake Cranston trying to pass Matsborg Anderson. Eric Mannitveld around the outside of Andy Fox into the final turn. It's 2x2 as they head onto the main straight. It's our final lap. 4.3 seconds in the lead is Kieran Dempsey. We haven't seen him all race, but we need to give a shout out to that man. Matsborg Anderson on the inside of Eric Mannitveld now. Marcel Friesch, I think, is involved in this. He's side by side with Jake Cranston as we're on board. We couldn't see it, but Marcel Friesch around the outside. Oh, there's contact. Eric Mannitveld and Jake Cranston come together. Marcel Friesch is going to have to back out of it. Stephen King is going to look to pick up some places now as Marcel Friesch goes off the track. Stephen King's right on the outside. Eric Mannitveld, I think his car's damaged. Look at the squirreling on that Hyundai. Is he going to spin? He's definitely got damage. He's trying to keep control of that car. Eric Mannitveld, look at him squirming that car. That car is absolutely broken. He's going to try and bring it home. He needs to try and bring it home. It's the last lap. Oh, it's nightmare for the Lurchers Academy driver who's had a really strong round, but that damage is going to cost him massively. And I wonder whose fault it was out of him and Cranston. We'll have to have a look at it after the race. The final lap now. Kieran Dempsey's coming into the corkscrew. Kyle Ridley's coming into the corkscrew. Corpus is behind. Connor Mills is in P4, just ahead of Morgan Burkhardt in P5. But Eric Mannitveld trying to squirm this car back. And now he's got Caraday, Stephen Fry, Jerry Agard, Dan Downing. They don't know he's got damage. They're trying to work their way round. That damaged Hyundai is absolutely wounded as Kieran Dempsey comes into the final corner. There's someone off. That's Dan Blake, who's been tagged round by Jerry Agard. But Kieran Dempsey comes round the final corner. Here's your man, the Irish driver, number 86, is going to cross the line for Meatball Motorsport and take a win for Meatball Motorsport. His first podium of the season. 3.8 seconds in the lead. He goes straight to the donut zone. Kyle Ridley comes home in P2. Everyone needs to stay away. He's going to wait. He's engaged the limiter. There is your race winner, Kieran Dempsey for Meatball Motorsport. Kyle Ridley takes another P2, his second of the season. And David Corpus comes home in P3. I think he's given up on the donuts. Maybe he couldn't find reverse. That's how he's going so fast. Once again, a stunning race. And I forgot to give you guys, wherever you're watching, this little link here to vote your driver of the day. Not the flights. There we go. We didn't do the flights today. Maybe we can have a look at that in a minute. Vote in chat. You've all been sent a link, whether you're watching with the Racing Line YouTube or Twitch, or the VCO eSports YouTube or Twitch. Click that link. All of the drivers are on there. Who deserves your driver of the day today? As they all come bringing it in. I think we have to try and find out what happened to Dan Blake at the end there. It looked like Jerry Agard just tagged him round. Oh, so he's already off there. Eric is doing a sterling job keeping that car in a straight line. Jerry, I think, just got into the back of Dan. There. And Dan just goes straight off the track. I posted the results link. There are no results. Maybe let's just get rid of the word results So that you can, yeah, I'll give you more time to vote for that. But yeah, a clumsy end there of people trying to get round Erik Mannenveld, who just, oh, what a last lap for that man, the Dutch driver. There's the onboard. And then you're going to see his steering is absolutely done so well to it. Look, now he's realised his wheel's broken. Look at the wheel work. Drifts it round this corner. Goodson Parent says Cranston not at fault. I'm inclined to agree after watching it. It was far back, but at the same time, it was very open. Mannenveld just coming across towards the apex, but we'll all look back and share an opinion on it, of course, after the race when we go through in the steward's room. But give props to this guy as well. We've got a few people. It's going to be difficult driver of the day voting today. You got Mannenveld, who brought this car home in 22nd place in the end. This is going to be fun. You're going to see Dan Blake come flying in front of him in a second. There he goes. Got Kyle Ridley up there in P2. You've got David Corpus for his first podium for Lurchus Academy. His first podium ever. A new driver to the season. All this contact there for Mannenveld. But at the same time, this man, Kieran Dempsey. He did put it into reverse. But he gave up. No donuts. Impressive stuff. Well, it's interview time. It is interview time. Let's go and have a look. Jerry, trying to influence the votes here, says we need to vote for Kyle. He's got a wife in Labour currently and got P2. Bob says, I changed my vote. His baby girl is going to be born in a few hours and he's here snatching a podium in the RLTC Championship. How's that for priorities? Oh dear. He's got a baby about to be born and he's here with us. What is he doing? I'm lost for words. Well done that man. The Australian driver Carl Ridley there in P2. It's so hard though because you've got Kieran Dempsey. He hasn't had a podium yet. He's in the lead. He won. He's won. He'll be buzzing with that, and I hope we get to speak to him in the interview room. I wonder if Ridley's going to stick around for an interview, and maybe Corpus as well if he's around. Although he might get nervous as there is a language barrier between some of us and the drivers. His baby's going to be named RLTC for sure. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, let's get these interviews done. I'm sure you're all waiting to hear from the drivers. Quick shout out, of course, to VCO eSports, Kakala of VCO eSports, GT Amiga, John of GT Amiga. Although, I don't know if John's watching. I know VCO watch. Jan wants the link. The link's up there. You'll have to scroll. Can probably hear her in the background screaming. I hope not. Hang on, that's a point. Is he not at the hospital? We need the link. This is Rick. Oh, they both want the link again. Hang on. Okay, I'll give the link again. Calm down, people. Let's not get angry. Here, I have another link on all 4 channels. But whilst you're doing that, let's have a look at the results of race 3. And here they are. Kieran Dempsey, your race winner, 3.8 seconds in the lead. Can you imagine Carl Ridley? Can you imagine Carl Ridley going to the woman who's giving birth to his child, saying, "It's worth it, babe. I finished P2. I mean, it's worth it, darling. Sheila. It's worth it, Sheila. I'll finish P2. Have that. Win it or bin it racing. All right." Can't get to the hospital because of COVID. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. Right, the results. Dempsey, Ridley, Corpus, Mills, Burkhard, Bailiff, Anderson, Fox, Cranston, Friesch, your top 10. Mills, probably under investigation, although a few drivers, actually. I'm calling out Mills, but there was definitely a few hip and shoulders, like Martin said in chat. Definitely a few shuts of the door. Is it just the nature of the circuit, or is it distasteful? Who knows? We'll look at that later. Van Olst, King, Mayorek, Gibson, Lequay. Look at that. Mayorek did have a good comeback drive. He's up in 13th, so he's not done too bad. He was last at the start of race 2, so there you go. There's some points. 18 points for that. Gibson there as well, so double for ORD. Ika Lequay, Caraday Fry in the 17th again. He's had a good round. Henriksen in 18th, so he had a good comeback after not finishing race 2. Thornton, 19th. Agard, Weiswanger, Manintveld, 22nd. Heartbroken for that man. Ribeiro there in 23rd. Burns 24th. Murray, Blake down in, and Taki down in last place. 8 laps down, so he didn't quite make it through that race. I don't actually know if he started. Well, he would have started 8 laps. He'd done 2 laps at least. Didn't see what happened to him though. That's a shame. And that is your feature results. Let's go to that interview room. I haven't checked the whole race, what's been going on in here, so it will be interesting to see who's kicking off about what. Just gonna have a quick check of the stewards room. Don't mind me. Right, let's get your man in. We're seeing him on track right now. Your race winner, first time podium sitter for the RLTC. It's Kieran Dempsey. How are you feeling?
Oh, pretty amazing, man. Definitely did not expect that coming into tonight's round. And, I know it was the reverse grid, but I'll take it.
Well, that's it. You have to take it. It's the same for everyone. And because of the way it gets reversed twice, we don't really see people trying to get 6th or 12th on purpose, like regularly. So it's not, I mean, we've had 1 or 2 maybe surprise race wins from these race 3s. But calling yours a surprise win, I think would be an overstatement, really, because you've been there or thereabouts for so many rounds. You nearly had a podium. Was it last time out or the time before? And we were gutted for you. You had people rooting for you in chat, and now here you are, 1 race later, just before we go into the week break, with a race win to your name. Surely that's going to give you the gusto for the final 3 rounds.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%. Like, that's really lifted me now.
You're speechless.
And yeah, no, I did. I had to pull over after the line. I was so tense on that last lap. I was sure I was going to just bin it from just trying to be safe.
We thought you were going to do some donuts in the donut zone.
Oh yeah, did I get pleb of the week for my awful donut at the end there?
We didn't see it. we saw you put it into reverse. And then you just kind of sat there and then drove off. That was what we saw. Maybe you did one later, but we missed it. But yeah, it was
a good thing you missed it.
It was a cracking race. I mean, you had Corpus behind you in second, just kind of pulled away from the Honda, and then he started coming under pressure from behind from Ridley. And then a 4-second gap in the end, and people in chat they were like, "This is it. This is the one. This is it for Kieran. He's done it. He's got the win. It's literally yours to lose." And I'm sure you felt the pressure, but a Meatball Motorsport win, over the moon.
Yeah, definitely. Should be some good points for us as well. So, yeah, absolutely delighted with that. And,
No
Don't even know
worries.
what to say.
Yeah, well, it's good to speak to you finally, like in the interview room, obviously.
Yeah.
Is there anyone, for the first time, is there anyone you want to say hello or thank you to before I let you go and join the others?
I'll just like say hi to my fiance Winnie and any family that ends up watching. I'll definitely be sending this to all of them afterwards. And then just to yourself for putting it on. It's been fantastic. It's been tougher than Jeddah Cup for sure, but it's been really good.
No worries. It's a pleasure to have you, Kieran, and thank you very much for sticking it out with us, and we'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, man. See you, Jack.
There he goes. Lovely man. Lovely lad. Lovely lad. Apparently that's a catchphrase of mine, but I mean it. I mean it. He's been around. He's been around for a while. Jeddah Cup Season 1 and Season 2. And here he is in the RLTC. All 3 seasons he's taken part in. Before today, his highest finish was 4th, and his highest grid position from qualifying was 10th. And now he's got a win to his name. In terms of Jeddah Cup statistics, to be honest, I'm going to have to check our website, theracingline.org. Kieran Dempsey, his highest finish in the Jeddah Cup was 2nd. And his highest grid was 1st. So he's got a pole position in the Jeddah Cup. His highest, so there you go. That is Kieran Dempsey's 3 seasons in. First win ever with us. So that, cracking effort for that man. But I know who you all want to speak to, and I think it's only right that we bring in Mr. Kyle Ridley, the Australian driver, after what looked like, from our perspective, an absolutely stunning round from yourself and the Win It or Bin It boys in general, I think. But yeah, Kyle, first of all, are you there? Hello.
Hello, I'm here.
How are you feeling?
I'm pretty wrapped with today's results.
Good. That's a good thing. We got people in chat mentioning you've got a baby on the way today.
I do. My girlfriend is currently in the hospital, so I've done that thing where sim racing comes first. But it's okay.
It's okay because you got P2, Kyle.
That's right. It was worth it today.
You got 2nd place. 3 top 10s. Your second place as well. That's 2 podiums this season now. That jumps you up above a load of people who've claimed that one. Well, we're all happy for you. In fact, I don't know if this is going to go your way, so this might be embarrassing. But let me just have a check of the Driver of the Day votes. Because there's the same 2 names are floating about. So it'll be interesting to see where it's at. And it is for you, my man. 46% of the votes, so nearly 50%. Half of the votes for today's Driver of the Day goes to you, sir. So there you go. That makes it even sweeter. 3 top 10s, a 2nd place, and Driver of the Day. Kieran Dempsey with 30% of the votes. And then the same 2 people in Belgium voting for Sam Van Alst there with 10% of the votes. Somehow, I didn't see Sam Van Alst today, but let's not change the subject. Tell us about your race, Carl, because you had to pass someone who looked quite difficult to pass for some in David Corpus. How was it for you?
David's a pretty stern defender. He was quick in the first half of the lap, and I was quick in the second half of the lap, so I could never really mount an attack. But he went wide at the left-hand kink, and I went around him on the outside through the corkscrew. So it was a lovely move. And yeah, I couldn't, I saw Connor coming in behind, so I was like, I need that insurance to just be safe to grab that podium just in case. And yeah, we brought it home. Win it or bin it, or podium and bin it tonight. But I want to give a shout out to Andy. He defended like a lion behind me to give me that breathing space. And yeah, race 2 was a bit of a shocker though. And my brake bias was way too low and nearly lost control twice. So I was very happy to bring her home. 3 times, top 10. Couldn't be more happier.
It's great stuff. It's great to hear that it was worth it today. You got people in chat definitely cheering you on. Jerry says, "Look at those rims. Looking at the green rims of both of your cars." I've never noticed
Very nice
I've never noticed the difference in colour between the UK flag and the Australian flag on the 2 cars. Is that part of the actual flag? I know I'm sidetracking here, but is our flag actually lighter than the Australian flag, or is that just a thing?
Yeah, we have a darker shade of blue. It's a really nice touch that Andy put on the car. Really, really makes it more personal. It's a nice touch.
Absolutely, and obviously been welcomed into the team. A late swap in just before the season started, joining the team, and I'm sure they're happy to have you with two podiums there. And like you said, great teamwork from the two of you. Jerry says, Jan says, phone her and tell her you got P2. She'll be happy. Jerry says, walk into the hospital like a boss, yelling, "I got P2, lads. Where's my fucking baby?" And Jermo laughs. And then Jerry says, bring back sound effects, because I think he keeps wasting his Twitch points on sounds, which don't get played during our Racing Line and VCO eSports streams. And VCO eSports pop in with the gold VCO logos. There you go. You got support from VCO eSports themselves, Kyle. Congratulations on Driver of the Day. Before I let you go, you've said thank you to Andy already, but is there anyone you want to say hello or thank you to one more time?
Just, everyone around, for the racing, win it or bin it, of course. And I want to give a shout out to Emma Rose, my baby girl, who will arrive at some point today, because of course it's Tuesday already for me. And yeah, that's about it, mate.
No worries. Thank you very much, Carl. It's good to speak to you. We'll speak to you soon. Congratulations.
Thanks.
As well, of course. There he goes. One of the other drivers, David Corpus, the first podium for that man. I thought it was going to be nice to speak to all the podium sitters in race 3 today, because we've spoken to the race winner Jake Cranston before, but I can't see Corpus. He's not normally in chat, so we will bring him in. It's only right that we bring him in. It is Jake Cranston. 2 race wins out of 3 today. How are you feeling, Jake?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for asking. Let's get one thing out the way straight away. How is racing in a brand new GT Omega cockpit feeling for you, sir? After racing at a desk for God knows how many years.
It is awesome. It's just comfortable and it's just the right position. I can't fault it. It's great.
And just so people who are watching are aware, whether with us or VCO eSports across, that's not because Jake used the TRL 5% off discount code to buy his GT Omega rig and he finally felt comfortable to buy one. It's because Mr. Cranston entered Season 2 of the Jetta Cup, which cost £5, by the way. £5. And
$5.50 actually.
$5.50, of course, to cover PayPal fees. But yeah, $5.50, and you got a GT Omega rig. I'm sat here in a GT Omega chair thinking I should have just entered, because like, I mean, you put the work in. Let's be honest. It was a tough. Both the Jetta Cup and this have shown to be tough seasons. It wasn't a walk in the park, even though the points might tell a different story. But it's glad to hear that, well, one, it's finally arrived, because it's taken a while. We're nearly at the end of this season. Unfortunately, no such prize available for this one, but I'll definitely speak to them in future to try and get something sorted like that again, maybe with more people entering as a result, to show that it's true. Jake Cranston did win a GT Omega cockpit for $5.50.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. Can you tell?
Great deal.
I'm jealous. It's
You
always
have one.
I know. Well, yeah, but I bought mine before we were partners. Before I got in contact with them, and we are where we are. But it's always weird talking to having 3 races before I talk to some drivers, because you had a race win in race 1, you had a race win in race 2, and it was looking like a proper strong event, maybe even a race win in race 3 if we were lucky, and that would have been Charles Leclerc levels of dominant. But race 3 not going your way, so do you feel deflated after speaking to me now straight after race 3 with a P9, even though you had 2 race wins before?
Yeah, of course. I was with the 2 race wins. I was expecting at least a top 6 for the final race, but getting through the other cars was just so difficult. Me and Mats were really struggling in the Hondas to get past the Hyundais and the Audis. We did our best, but the slow starts and the bad exits out of corners that we get is really hampering us at this track, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, the Hondas look to have a small advantage, obviously. They seem to have the advantage all season in the 1 lap quali pace in terms of numbers. bar 1 or 2 tracks. But here, it looked like in practice it was going to be a Honda circuit. And I think, obviously, with 2 out of 3 race wins, you could say it was, especially with Ridley and Corpus there in 2nd and 3rd this time round in the Honda. And Kieran Dempsey obviously running away with a slight pace advantage. I think, not right, this is going to sound like I'm putting the others down, but I'm not. But in himself rather than the car, Kieran Dempsey being slightly faster than the other 2 maybe. Although Kyle had pace here, he was closing I think, but Kieran just concentrated on bringing it home. Like you said, I think you and Matt's fairly even on pace, both of you very quick, but battling each other just as much as trying to get through. But all of you fast guys are in that area, so it just makes it almost clogs up in that area, doesn't it, to get through?
Yeah, there just wasn't anywhere to go. I mean, we were trying left and right all over the place, and there just wasn't anything doing. I was watching Connor and Morgan and that ahead just driving away, and I was like, I want to be there.
What can I expect from the steward's room?
I think there's quite a lot, to be honest.
Oh,
No.
It's just going to be, nothing, not much.
No,
Never,
definitely
never nothing.
Definitely a blue flag incident with someone.
Downing?
I'm not going to mention. Yeah.
I think we caught the tail end of it on stream, but we didn't.
I feel bad. I feel bad for John. I think he got held up in the lead in race 2 there.
Oh, was that when it was? I thought it was race 1. Well, we'll have a look at it. We'll come back to that, and obviously we'll go through the points and whatever next time out in 2 weeks' time now, ladies and gentlemen. It is a 2-week break before the next race. Interlagos, Mr. Cranston. How are you feeling about that one?
I've never driven it in the TCR, so who knows?
Who knows indeed. I'm sure you'll be putting in the work as usual, as the All Sports boys do. Is there anyone you want to say hello or thank you to before I let you go and we round off the stream?
Hello to GT Omega. Thank you for the rig.
Somebody clip that. Send it to him. Clip that. Tweet it. Because I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't worked out their times that they're online. But I don't think it's when we're live. So we'll have to do that retrospectively. But I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Anyone else?
No, sorry.
No. Not even Ellen.
I think she's playing The Sims in the other room.
She'll be fuming. She's going to be driving in that cockpit. She'll be taking over the Jetta Cup next time round. Thank you very much, Jake. It's good to speak to you. We'll speak to you again soon.
See ya.
And there he goes. 2-time Jetta Cup champion. 2-time race winner today at Laguna Seca. And what a round we've had. I'm kind of lost for words. This season has been incredible so far. We've got 3 rounds left. And I hope it provides just as much action and just as little headaches in the steward's room. 2 times I've felt slightly emotional this season, and that is Jerry Agard's first podium and Kieran Dempsey's first win. And that is that. I mean, why don't I feel emotional for Cranston and others like that? It's because they win quite regularly. It's something special when an underdog does it, don't you think? Don't you agree with me? And to say they're underdogs, they've got the pace always. It just never goes their way sometimes. And then when they finally do it, it happened when Andy Fox got his first win in the Jetta Cup. That was another one. And the longer we do this, the more people that join us, the more people we meet, the more people that become part of this community, whether you're here with us at the Racing Line or watching us on VCO. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you for coming along for the ride. And we hope you stick it out, because there's just an unlimited amount of drivers out there, and I'm glad to meet them all, egos and everything. Obviously some more than others, and it really does mean a lot. So thank you from myself, Jack Johns, here at the Racing Line. This is pretty much it from me. So if I don't see you on track this week, I'll see you next week for the next video here on the Racing Line. 2 weeks till the RLTC. See you then. Peace.